Okay, welcome back to the Smoker Section Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm here with my co-host, Freddy.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing today, bro?
Pretty good. Today's a pretty good day. We are smoking cigars.
As always.
I'm smoking the Cohiba Black. A nice, very dark, smooth cigar. It's not completely full body. It does have strong notes in it, though. And I think you're smoking the...
Yeah, I'm smoking the Flathead 660. It's a nice full body.
That's a really full body. That's like full scale, full body right there.
Yeah, it has, chocolate notes and some, ground.
Like black pepper and stuff
Black
like
pepper,
that.
yeah, it's really good.
What I like about that one, the one you're smoking, is that the kind of how it was inspired by. I think it was inspired by muscle cars.
Yeah, it's inspired by 1950s muscle cars, and that's what the logo looks like. That I don't know if you.
Yeah, like on a band, it has like a motor or stuff like that, like a flathead motor.
Yeah,
and their other, because they're made by CAO, and their other bands which are red, they have like other I think car parts on them. And it's pretty cool on that one.
Yeah, this is pretty, and I like the style. It's more of a square. You gave me a thick one here today, man.
Well, you a thick ass boy, that's why.
As always, I like it when you talk dirty.
No, that one, it's I think they call it more like a box press, because these are like more rolled, because they're more cylinder, and those are more like square shaped. But yeah, I mean, those are a little more difficult to cut, especially the thicker you get. But yeah, I mean, those are good.
Yeah,
good
I will
sticks.
say, so if people ever takes our recommendations, if you don't like a strong one, don't go for these. But if you really like nice and strong flavor, bold flavors, this is the one for you.
Yeah, if you drink lattes in the morning and you go to Starbucks and drink the mocha choco bullshits with the fairy dust and unicorn pussies and shit, that is not for you.
No, this is for if you like straight black coffee, no sugar, nothing. So, yeah, and if you like to drink Guinness, you'll like this shit too.
So
just me and you today, right, Freddie?
Yeah, it's just us two. The first episode we did, it was kind of a just like introduction episode, kind of like, just introduce ourselves,
and tell our story about how we wanted to start the podcast and what we did.
So we're gonna go more in depth in this episode.
This is so you guys get to know us better.
Yeah, kind of give us our background a little bit, and also kind of give you like the background of how we started this, or not how we started, but like how we came up with the name. So we came up with the name. Well, actually,
if you guys want to hear the stupid names we came up with first,
well, I'm gonna give a big shout out to one of my coworkers, which I'll probably have him on here. I spoke with him today, and I think he said he wants to come on here. So he actually helped us with the name as well. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, because you texted me. You're like, "Hey, my coworker came up with a perfect name."
Yeah. So what other names did we have before we kind of came up with this one?
So Freddie, for the people, so they can know, I'm half Mexican, half Greek. You're 100% Mexican, right?
Yes.
So I came up with, I was like, you know what? Let's incorporate both our cultures. So the very first one was like tzatziki guacamole or some bullshit like that, which was very stupid now to think about it. But after that, I came up with, at the time, I thought was great sounding. I was thinking greasy, like spout like the country greasy Mexican podcast. But yeah, I'm kind of glad we didn't go with that now that I think about it.
I don't know what's harder, is to make good content or to come up with like a really good, like snappy name, that
a name that would catch people off.
Well, yeah,
like I gotta check that out.
I remember those guys. Like, oh, I know that. Yeah, I heard of that. And greasy Mexican, I don't think was gonna cut it.
No, I think people were gonna take that the wrong way. They were gonna be like, a greasy Mexican, them racist assholes.
Yeah. So, but I mean, just to show you guys, we try to come up with something that was.
I'm not gonna name names, but we do have friends that came up with some horrible names for us. Because for people that don't know, we are in a basement. I think we touched on that in the last one where we started. And we have a friend who came up with the Basement Boys. I'm sorry, guy.
Yeah, that sounds like a high school drinking like a
Like
cluster
those are
of
the
like
coolest
three.
guys in
That sounds like three
sophomore year.
virgin high school kids that came up with the basement boys to come down here and run
Those are
away
the
from.
coolest sophomores in high school. And as you know, sophomores in high school aren't cool.
Yeah, I was pretty cool in my sophomore year. I think.
Sophomore year, you think so? You
I
probably.
played soccer. So I don't think I was that cool.
I doubt it. I know I wasn't. I didn't reach the cool stage till I graduated high school. Actually,
You're still not cool.
yeah. Fuck you.
I mean, you're getting cool points just sitting next to me right now, but
Take it where I could get it, I guess.
but anyways, so that's how we came up with the name, and smoker section. We're in a section like I kind of wanted to do something where, so I don't know if you guys remember when like back in the 90s, I was born in 90, so I remember growing up going to like diners, and like the waitress person or the hostess would be like smoking or non-smoking.
Yeah, big time. I don't know when that stopped, but I remember that as well. You would go in, and they'd ask, like, of course, they would ask our parents smoking or non, and you would see all the. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if you thought this way, but sometimes you would look and you see like all the cool older looking dudes with their cigars or their cigarettes and just having a good time in the smoker section over there.
Yeah, like a lot of people, like when you see someone like holding a cigarette, or maybe not a cigarette, but like a tobacco pipe or like a cigar, you just think of like manly, just cool essence, things like that.
You just think of like a cool, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I used to think cigars, I would think like of a cool like mobster dude eating a fucking medium rare steak and
Yeah,
just chilling, talking.
or the Godfather, that was
Yeah.
like, whatever. But so that's kind of what made me think of like the smoker section type vibes that we got, and I just thought it was pretty cool to have like to do something that way where because I growing up and seeing that and like growing up now and being like, damn, like I remember that. I kind of want to bring back some memories for a lot of people that way, and just kind of make it to where you just think about the smoker section.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. People just don't have that anymore. Like, yeah, we know there is like, do it at your own risk, of course, but there's just something cool and like fucking, I don't know, there's an essence to it, cigars in general, and just chilling in the smoker section with a cigar, a drink, and having good conversation with good people. And that's what we want to bring here.
Yeah, like last week, we were all down here. We recorded an episode. We had a couple friends over. We're all smoking cigars. We were drinking and watching that Mike Tyson fight. So
R.I.P. Nate Robinson.
that dude got flatlined. But so basically, what I want to do with this episode is not only give our description or like our input of how we came up with this idea and the name, and like kind of why we wanted to do it. Also, I wanted to give a little bit of background of ourselves. That way, people who watch this know a little bit about us,
And get to know our personalities more. Because I'm sure that does come off, but this way you guys could be like, okay, we know Chris is the cute one and Freddy's the funny one.
You are not that cute, bro.
DM me.
Do you want to give your Instagram and
Go get your Instagram. My Instagram. Oh, I haven't been on my Instagram in years, bro. That's how backwards I am. But you hit me up on Twitter, Lil Boosty21.
there you go.
And I'm nothing little about me, but hey.
And I'm not gonna give my social media out. We're gonna do a collective social media. Eventually, we'll do. I'll probably release mine and like stuff like that. But as of right now, I'll let you get all the groupies.
Sounds good to me. If you guys like, it's winter time, right? So all you
Cuffing
ladies out
season.
there, come get warm. I'm a big boy. I'll keep you warm.
You are a thick ass boy.
That's one thick ass boy.
So Chris, we covered a little bit, but give me like a little bit of your background, like where you grew up,
So I was born in EC. Killer Cat, St. Catherine Hospital is where I was born. First, so we moved to Hammond in '96. So the first 5 years of my life, I grew up in Markstown. If any of you guys out here, you guys know Markstown and how that was. We lived there till there was from what my parents tell me, I think there was like a chase or something in our backyard that ended up in our backyard and people getting shot. And my dad worked midnights and he was going to work when that happened and said, "That's it. We have to get out of here," which I am grateful for because you had said that yourself, and I will agree with you. I think there would have been nothing good for me if we stayed over there.
What's funny about that though is it only took that one instance. Yeah, I lived in Chicago, so
Oh no, yeah, I'm sure you had I'm sure it was a while to. Yeah.
I don't think that's why we moved. I think it was just because Chicago is like expensive.
No, Chicago. Yeah, no matter where
imagine
you live in Chicago.
Well, imagine Chicago back in the '90s, and then Chicago now. It's like totally different. Like you have a shitty rundown house that costs like $100,000+.
So, quick question though, about where you're from, Chicago. Is that like regentified now, or?
Oh
Is it
hell
still,
no, not my area,
Okay.
not the area I'm from.
I was just wondering because I know some area was it Palatine?
Pilsen.
Pilsen's
On
getting
18th Street in Pilsen. That was
they're getting regentified now, right?
oh hell yeah, that's all you see is hipsters, people like skateboarding with longboards and riding bikes. And before you would see like a lot of crimes and everything else like over there, but now it's like you said.
I have big thoughts on that, but we'll get into that some other time.
Okay.
I don't know if you have thoughts on that yourself. Regentification.
I don't know. I don't know why it happens.
Oh, okay. I just hate it, but we'll get into that some other time, I think.
So after that instance, you guys moved to.
We moved to Hammond. If you guys are familiar with this area, we moved to right by Woodmar Mall on Ridgeland Avenue, I think it was. Either Ridgeland Street or Ridgeland Avenue. Lived there for a minute. I'm kind of a boring kid. We lived there for a minute. And then we actually moved back to East Chicago on Chestnut or something like that. I think it's Chestnut. Kind of by where my dad works. And my dad works at Niagara LaSalle. So the street was right there. Like my dad could walk to work.
Okay.
And then from there we moved back to Hammond. Almost the same neighborhood. And after that we moved here in '01. And I've been here ever since.
Okay. So you kind of back and forth a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back and forth. If you guys, you guys are here to know me. I'm the youngest kid in my family. I have three siblings, two older brothers, and older sister. If you guys heard the Kid Cudi song, I got two older brothers, one hood, one good, and an independent sister. That's pretty much me.
Okay. And how did moving affect you at all? Back and forth?
Yeah, well, and when you're a young age like that, yeah, because you lose in touch with friends. So when we lived in Hammond, that first time we moved to Hammond, that's when I started going to school and made friends and made a lot of friends. A lot of kids, now I think about it, I can't even remember their names, but I just remember having a group of friends, a cool group of friends and stuff when you're a kid. And then I moved for the 2 years I moved, and we moved back to the same neighborhood, and I tried to be friends with those guys again. And they wanted nothing to do with me, so it was just damn. But then when I came here, after we moved back over where we're at now, Hesville area, this is basically where my memories started. My good memories,
yeah.
Because here was middle school, high school, all the dope shit, really.
Only reason why I asked you if it affected you moving back and forth was because my life is a little bit similar to yours. So, I was born in Chicago. I was born in the South Side in Trinity Hospital in '90, and I don't remember I think we lived in one house on Escanaba. I don't remember too much about it because I think I was 3 or 4 when we moved out of there until we moved into Baltimore on 87th, and that's where like my memories start really with my childhood. And reason why I was asking you is because I went to like a lot of schools. You know, I went to Phil Sheridan. I think it was called yeah, it was called Phil Sheridan, and most of you might not even know that name, but now it's called Arnold Morales. I don't even know if it's still around. It was called Arnold Morales because there was that guy. I think he was like doing really good for the community, and he ended up getting killed.
Oh wow.
I think it was like gang violence. He wasn't in a gang, but I don't know if they tried. I don't know the full story, so I can't really speculate on it. That's what I hear. That's why they renamed the school to Arnold Morales. That was the guy's name. But from there, you know, that's where I met my childhood friends, and there's still some that I keep in touch. You know, one of them has died due to gang violence.
Oh wow.
You know, but that's after I moved out. You know, and just like we have all those memories with a lot of those people that we grew up in or grew up with. Like I said, I still keep in touch with them. I have them on like social media accounts and everything else. But also after that, when we moved from Chicago, we moved to Hammond, and I lived in Hammond for about 3 years. But so I went from Arnold Morales to Nino's Heroes or Nino's Héroes in Spanish, and I was there for like 2 or 3 years. So you gain friends, and then you feel like you never want to leave,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And then now going from that, I lose all my friends. I thought the world was over, you know. So then from there, we lived in Hammond, but I went 1 year to Lincoln in Cal City because we have family lives around there, or in Calumet City, Illinois, and I went to that school for 1 year. And then after that, I went to Edgar's here in Hammond. I
Oh,
don't even know what side is that?
that's Edgar's
Is that North Hammond? No, that's East Hammond, ain't it?
is it East Hammond? See, I've been here for so long, but I think it is more East Hammond. They call that area more like I think they still call it Little Waco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what they call it. But is that East Hammond? Because you got South Hammond, which is where I was basically saying like where I lived in Ridgeland.
Mm-hmm.
This is Hasville. I fucking hate the name of this place. And then you got North Hammond, which is more like Clark. So I guess maybe
Yeah.
East Hammond.
Well, it's kind of weird how this is Hesville, but it's still considered Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah,
And like Whiting, Indiana, it's still Hammond basically.
yeah. Because Whiting has what like I heard this. I don't know how true it is, but they got like 4 police officers or something like that,
No, that can't be true.
or 4 squad cars or something like that.
Word Whiting?
Yeah,
That can't be true.
that's what I heard, and I heard the rest is like all Hammond police, but I don't know. I'm always misinformed.
Well, anyways, that's crazy. They only have 4 squad cars, but so going from moving from going 1 year for 5th grade in Calumet City and Lincoln, and then going to Edgar for 2 years, and now I become friends with a lot of people. We played sports together and everything else, and then here we go moving again.
Yeah, because that's where when you're talking about like Edgar's, this is like middle school, right?
Yeah.
So that's when a lot of bonds are being made because you're at that age. What's like 11 to like 13, right? So you're at that age where you're gonna. That's where a lot of people meet some of their friends for life there. So you're getting pulled out of that situation.
Yeah.
And then where did you end up going after that?
So after that, I went for 6th and 7th grade to Eggers, and then moved into East Chicago, and I didn't want to move again, just moving my whole life basically, and I had to make friends again. So coming to 8th grade, so now it's Cary Gosh, but back then it was West Side, and so I went there for 1 year for 8th grade, and like at that point I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to make friends because I don't know if we're moving again.
Yeah, because that'd be back of your head. Like,
yeah,
why you even build a friendship when I'm just gonna get pulled out?
So like I did become friends with people there, and then so I ended up going to East Chicago Central. Thankfully, I graduated there. I stayed there for the 4 years. We did end up moving again because I lived in the south side of East Chicago, and then we moved to the harbor side, which I'm still there now. So, but thankfully, we stayed, and I think it did affect me somehow with like social life, maybe, just because I was tired of making friends and didn't want to keep doing that over and over again.
So is this where Sarcastic Freddy came about?
Probably, I don't know.
Like I'm not gonna know this guy for long, so I'm gonna be an asshole in this Say bullshit then.
Well, when you met me, when you first, was I an asshole? Was I like a?
No, you were. I never took you seriously. I knew you. I mean, you were just fucking around, like, because when I first met you, of course, it was like when I first met you personally, because I'm sure we met each other other times. We just don't recall them that well. But when I met you, like through the game, you would be like, "Oh, yeah, dude, you're fucking trash at this game," which I am. But I was just laugh about it because we just all laugh, you know. Like I said before, I don't. We don't try to get butthurt on things, so I always just took you as a joke, like not took you as a joke, but took
Right,
you
yeah,
like you were
yeah.
joking around.
I can just imagine like, who the fuck this guy thinks he's like? Who the fuck is he? Like, you
Because
know?
I added you and you're like, oh, dude, I don't accept people with a low ass KD like you.
Oh, that's what
Kill death ratio for you people that don't know.
yeah. But yeah. So like after that, you know, and thankfully, um, you know, like always, after high school, you know, you think you have a lot of friends,
Yeah.
and then slowly but surely, as soon as you start getting older, you just realize that, you know, people that were so called your friends, they just, you know, dropping like flies.
Somebody's mother, one of our friends' mother, she told us a valuable thing. Well, I'll say it's our friend Alex, our mutual friend Alex's mother. She said a valuable thing. She said that you could count the number of friends in one hand, like how many friends you're actually going to carry through your life, like that will be your true friends.
Yeah.
So I agree with like getting older. Like when she said younger, it's like old people. But now I think about it, like she's right. You get to see who your true friends really are.
Yeah, and then you know, to this day, I have, you know, well, besides you guys, you know, but I always say you guys have like your own best friends because you guys grew up, went to school together,
Yeah.
and you know, like for real, like from high school, I probably from that school actually, like I could call like, you know, really really good friends, less than five.
From the school, you're talking about like your high school, right?
Yeah, from high school.
There's only like really like close friends. Probably only one, bro.
Yeah,
That I still talk to on a daily basis. One.
and that's okay, by the way.
Oh no, yeah. We're not discouraging anybody by this. This is life. It's life.
Well, yeah, but you know, you get a lot of people, especially kids nowadays, you know, growing up in this kind of society, and they feel like if they call this person their best friend for like the past 3 4 years of life, shit's gonna happen. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? There's something's gonna happen. They're gonna move on, and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, let me put it this way, and there's no hard feelings in case this person does say this. I'm not gonna name your name, but there was a family that I hung out with, probably from middle school all the way to like we graduated. I would hang out like every weekend at their crib. Like I'd spend a night there, spend a night here. Like it was a whole family of them, and like my whole high school, like those were like I would consider like that guy my best friend. At that time, we would probably be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be your best man at your wedding." This fool got married, didn't even send me an invite. That's how we don't even. That's how much we like.
Right.
Don't like. I heard to hear from my barber, like, "Oh yeah, remember so and so he got married this weekend." I didn't even know about that, but
Yeah.
it don't hurt me. It's just like, damn, that's how far we grew apart after high school. How much high school kind of holds your friendships together, and you don't
Yeah,
even realize
you know,
it.
I have one too where it was like two or three of us, you know, who were really close friends, and we would after like high school we would still hang out, you know, drink on weekends, go to parties together. Um, then when we became of age, to go clubbing, we would go clubbing like damn near, dude, like 3 times a week basically. You know, got no sleep. All we did was party, party, party. And once I started kind of falling back, me and this other guy started falling back. The other guy kind of like started hanging out with other people and kind of lost in touch with me basically, you know. And he had a kid, and I had to find out through other people. You know, I had to
Damn.
find out through other people that he had a kid, you know, and I ain't gonna lie to you, that hurt because I thought that he was a really good friend of mine,
Yeah,
you know, and I still consider him a good friend, you know, even though we haven't talked in shit like 3 years. Like if he ever decides to, get in contact with me and be like, hey, you know what's going on, I'm open arms, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I feel how you might have felt when you heard about that person getting married without you knowing.
Yeah, like it was just like, damn, like you know, I broke my leg at this dude's house. Like I don't know, it was just crazy how many memories I have with this person. Like you said, but at the end of the day, if this person has reached out to me, I agree with you out here and I'll listen. Let's try to get back together. Like you said, no hard feelings. We grow apart, but it's just like, damn, this hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Especially as you get older. I think we're saying this because as you get older, your eyes open up more. Like if I was fucking 20 years old, I'd be like, man, fuck that guy, whatever, fuck him.
Yeah.
But that's the young, stupid me talking. If I was 20 now, but now I'm 30, dude, and I got kids and everything else, and it's all love.
True. Like you said in the bit, our first episode is love, peace, and respect, bro. Like you
Yeah, but yeah, from there, I want to also just want to talk about the holidays, that are coming up, that are upon us now.
no COVID holidays.
Yeah, but yeah, like the holidays to me, man, it's like the most joyous. Like from Halloween to Christmas, it's the most joyous time of the year for me. And this year, like I'm not one too big on depression. Like, oh, I feel depressed, or you know, I feel sad or whatever, because I don't know what depression means. Because I've never had it, and I can't speak too much about it because it's real. I know people who've been clinically diagnosed with with depression. So I'm not making light of that, but I'm just saying I don't think I've ever felt it. And
Yeah.
just this year alone, nothing
You got like
really
hints of it.
happened. It's just
It's because of the way everything is.
yeah,
And like,
the whole COVID thing is
because I remember the beginning of the year, we all talked. You were a big one that brought this up. Like, you're like, and this was before like COVID hit hard out here. You're like, hey man, this is like a great year. Halloween's on a Saturday. Christmas is on a weekend this year. Like,
Friday, I think.
oh, okay,
Friday.
So yeah, that's perfect. Like, it sounds like a perfect Christmas, but then we get hit with the pandemic that screws everything up because like a lot of us had small Thanksgivings this year. I don't know how yours went, but mine was just my parents, and my brother and his family, and it's normally like the whole clan of like everybody
Right.
going somewhere.
Yeah, like with us, it was also just not everybody, you know, and all I did was eat, drank a little bit, and went upstairs and just watch TV or play Call of Duty for the rest of the night, and chill with like my girlfriend and my two kids and shit.
Yeah, it didn't hit like Thanksgiving. Yes, I'm a big guy. I get it. It's funny, but Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and it's
Yeah.
not so much really the food. It's so much the feeling of it.
The
Like,
family, you're
yeah.
around your family, you're
bullshitting with
yeah,
everybody,
you're talking shit, you're
drinking,
drinking, you're having a good time,
and that just didn't hit like it usually does, especially with like everything going on. Because I'm the same boat as you. Like, I ate, and then my brother stayed for like a couple hours. He left, and I think I joined you in the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how the holiday went this year, and it was kind of very,
Depressing.
very.
Lack of a better term, depressing basically. And I'm still feeling that way, like kind of drained. I'm trying to kind of, get my shit together, just because I know that my son, he's gonna be 3, and I know he's like super excited for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I try to kind of be enthusiastic about it now, but it's still, just feel like shit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Like, it don't even feel like it's December right now to me. Like, we should all be getting things ready for Christmas. We put up some decorations around the house here, and it just don't feel it. Like you said, it just feels shitty. But it's dope that your kid is very excited about it, though,
Yeah.
your son. And it's cool that you're bringing it to him, though, still. Like, even though, like, you're trying. So,
Yeah.
do you
It was
recommend
crazy
it?
because like this year, and because every year when we put up the Christmas tree, we try to do like different themes. Like one year it was like all pink. The last year I think it was like gold and silver. And this year I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to put up the tree now.
Yeah, you
You
just
know,
didn't
and
have
I
that.
wanted to do like a whole Halloween, like Night Before Christmas
That
type
would be
thing.
dope. That would be
Man,
dope.
that was so cool. Like I was looking at things like I didn't even buy anything, just because I was like, for what? It's like,
Yeah, you just didn't feel.
yeah, it didn't
Yeah,
feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And what makes it worse? Well, not worse, I guess, but I kind of want to go into like a little bit of like a little more personal with me. My son's gonna be 3 years old in the next like week or so, you know, and it's always
well, it's a big thing for your son, right? Because I know this is what you're probably trying to get into is
yeah,
um, you told me, of course, on a personal level, but I know that there was a lot of stuff going on with your son when he was first born, correct?
complications.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is my this is my firstborn. My only biological kid, and when we found out we were pregnant, like I was super excited. You know,
Yeah, ecstatic, probably.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, holy shit, like I'm gonna be a father, and like just like what am I gonna do? This, so we got everything ready, and when you get pregnant, you go into um like doctor's appointments,
Yeah.
for checkups, see how how the fetus is growing, how the baby's growing, basically, and I think it was around like the 22nd week of pregnancy, like doing the ultrasound,
The doctor found something.
the doctor found something, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck. And
So when something like that happens and the doctor mentions like there may be a complication, what went through like your head? Like what? Like did the worst come? Like did the worst thoughts come to you, or did you
um,
just try to think positively?
at first, because so the thing is that he was diagnosed with, I think they call it like a CPAM, and there's like a whole thing on Facebook right now where like it's like a rare thing that happens. It's not like a lot of people get it. A lot of kids get it.
Yeah.
There's like a support group on Facebook that really helped my girlfriend out. Maybe my girlfriend at the time, or helped her out while being pregnant with that. And so that's what it was, like a CPAM thing. So when they told us, that doctor said, because I think it was a lady that does ultrasound, and she said, they found something. They're not sure what it was, but there's something there. And at first, I was just like, all right, you know, let's relax. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see what they
You
say.
know, so they wanted to see us because usually you take an ultrasound. I think it's like one every week, maybe I think it is or something like that, just to see how the baby's progressing.
Yeah, because then they give you like the sizes and everything like that.
Yeah, and they wanted us to do like I think it was like 2 or 3 ultrasounds a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So right there, that's kind of alarming.
yeah, not knowing what's happening or whatever. So we would go and every so often, every couple times a week, and then they would tell us, well, whatever it is getting bigger. So the CPAM, whatever, it was like a growth or like a tumor growing on his lung. It was
Shit.
his left lung. Well, as he got bigger, so did the mass. It got bigger as well. So what was happening was that the tumor itself, I don't even know if I can call it a tumor. I don't know if it was a tumor or not, but the mass or the growth was actually taking over his left lung, so it wasn't developing properly, and it was actually pushing his heart to the center of his body, to his chest, and it wasn't giving enough space there because there wasn't enough space because the mass was taking up his chest cavity, and it was pushing his right lung as well, and it wasn't developing how it should have.
Fuck.
So just going every week and looking at this screen and just looking at this fucking thing.
Yeah, it had to be hard. I could tell. It's like just you thinking about it now is bringing up some of that emotion. I can only imagine. Definitely.
What was crazy was I couldn't show any emotion.
Yeah, because you had to be there for your girl.
Yeah.
You wanted to show her you were the strong, because having to be a man all the time, quote unquote.
Yeah, being like that old macho man Mexican
So you don't
thing,
want
you know
to
what I'm saying? And
show that
yeah.
emotion, but
Well, it's because I couldn't show too much emotion because I needed to be strong for her. Because imagine she was a nervous wreck, having a baby inside her and it going wrong.
yeah.
So emotionally, she's already a wreck, but she's not showing it really. And I know, stress is bad for pregnancies. So imagine if I
So if
showed
you're stressing out, which just cause her to stress out more.
right, and
Yeah.
I didn't want that to complicate things even further. So after all that, um, I think it was like towards like the 28th week or something like that. It just kept getting bigger and bigger, and they told us. So they gave us basically two options. It's you go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and they have a children's hospital out there. I think that was like ranked number 3 in the nation for that type of surgery. I think it was, or you go to Texas. Well, at the time, I didn't have the best job, and financially, I really couldn't support either one of those. Thankfully, I had good enough credit to where I was able to take out a loan to
Thank
sustain
God to
us,
that, man.
while we're out there. But the reason why I chose Cincinnati was one because it was closer to us. It's like a 5-hour drive from here, and two, at the time in 2017 when my son was born, when this whole thing was going around, or when this whole thing was happening, I think at that year that's when Texas had got hit that hurricane.
Oh shit.
So that kind of, well, I was like, okay, well, my mind's made up now. I can't go to Texas,
Definitely with all that going on.
and then I was closer. So
Well, one thing I could say is shout out to that hospital you did go to, Cincinnati, correct? Because from what I understand is they did right by you guys,
yeah, that
and that they dared to rank number 3 for a reason, correct?
the surgeon, I forgot his name. He's an Asian guy. I think his last name was Chang or Lang. I don't remember. But he's a really good surgeon, really nice guy. But so we, decided to pack up and move out there because they had to monitor her every so many days every week, basically how it was here.
So about how long were you guys out there?
We were there from the beginning of like the last of October. I think Halloween Day we were actually over there. So from Halloween 31st all the way till about January 3rd or some shit like that. So we're there for like 2 months, a little over 2 months. And so we pack up our stuff. And the hardest thing about that too was that my girlfriend has a daughter. At that time, she was 9 years old, I think, around there.
So she had school,
So
and
she had school and everything, so we couldn't bring her. So for 2 months, my girlfriend couldn't see her daughter that much, in person, how she really wanted to.
yeah, it would just have to be like FaceTime.
The only time was during Christmas break and during Thanksgiving, that's in New Year's, whatever. So that's about it. But so after that, we go out there, and we had support from our family, financial support and emotional support. And so, anyways, so we go to the doctor, and they basically told us, all right, well, you need to make it to 30 weeks of pregnancy. So the safest time they could deliver the baby, induce her, was, I believe that was at 36 weeks. I think the whole pregnancy is like lasts about 40 weeks. It's like max. So they were like, all right, one doctor was, or we had like a table like this, and we had meetings like once a week with like all their surgeons and all the possible surgeons that we might need. So when we got there, we would do the interviews or whatever with the people, with the surgeons, And they're like, all right, so he had to make it to 30 weeks, and then we'll see him again. All right, mass is getting bigger, so now we have to make it to 32 weeks because his chances of living were more at 35, 36 weeks. Anything before that, the chances went down.
So the higher they had to push it up, the more scarier it became.
The scarier it became. So finally, we make it to the 36 weeks, and the doctors were like, all right, if you make it to this, we could do surgery. So basically, they induced the labor. They took him out while he was still connected to his mother with the placenta and everything else. They made an incision in his chest, and they cut the mass out, and then they stitch him back up and everything else. I think the hardest part, well, not even the hardest part. That was probably the easiest part. But the hardest part was not being able to be there for my girlfriend, and because I couldn't see him.
So they didn't allow you to be back there when
they did not allow me to be back there. I had to stay in a fucking room for like 5 hours, worrying and this and that.
I can only imagine. It was probably like you said like 5 hours.
Yeah,
those are probably like the longest 5 hours of your life.
Dude, it was crazy. Like
I can only fucking imagine.
Like I would get the nurse come in here, and check up on me, and then my mom came. My brother was there. But yeah, so
did they give you like at least good updates? Like, you know what I mean? Like how often were like the updates? Like, did you have to wait a long time between updates or?
Yeah, because so basically once they induced her, and then she went under because she had a C-section, they pulled my son out while he was still hooked up to the mother. Then that's when they did surgery because he was too young. He was a newborn to do any anesthetics. So basically, the from the womb and everything else, supposedly with the placenta, they said that's like a natural anesthetic for babies, which is crazy. Like just medicine now is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's wild.
So then,
that shit's crazy.
So he comes in, or he's born technically after surgery, everything else. I still can't see him because now he has like tubes in his mouth. He has a tube in his chest from the wound because they had to open him up and get like a tube in his chest to where it drains the liquid out so it doesn't build up and everything else. And so basically he was in the NICU, which is a newborn intensive care unit.
Yes, yeah.
So after that, the nurse who was like a RN lady, she was actually there in the surgery room, like I guess helping the doctor or something like that. She ended up taking a picture of the top of his head. He had like a shitload of hair. And that's like the first picture I've ever seen of him.
The first picture you seen of your son was his thick hair?
The top of his head.
Yeah.
Was, full of hair. And then she was like, I'll be back. We're getting him ready and everything else. Transport to the NICU. We'll come back and get you when you can see him.
Yeah.
So they come in, bro. I'm nervous as fuck, dude. I felt like it was like when you go on a date for the first time, like you're so nervous, you got butterflies.
Yeah, like first day of anything, pretty much. Yeah, you're just so nervous, but this has to be intensified though. This is seeing yourself for the first time, and I mean, especially everything that led up to this moment.
So they come in, they get me, and I walk in, and he's like in the last room to the back of the hallway, and there's like babies everywhere, for different reasons. And my son's all the way in the back, left corner. And as soon as I walk in there, it was like a big pressure relief off of myself. Because I held in all the emotion and everything I was going through, and then when I walk in there and see him, dude, like it was like fucking Niagara Falls.
Everything just everything just released at that moment.
And then I remember the lady Like they're like, oh, like I don't know why. I don't know why is it like so like an all moment to see a guy cry.
Well, because I'm sure they've been through it. They've seen all this, so
Yeah,
they probably
probably worse.
and they know, for lack of better words. Well, I don't know lack of better words, but they seen a father that really fucking cared at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're probably like, that's gonna be a great fucking father right there. So that's probably where that came from. Like, because they probably seen like some guys that don't give a shit, some people that don't even have the father there, and for you to go back there and just when you seen your son, everything just
Yeah.
released, they knew right there like this the real deal right here.
I mean, the first thing I did was call my father, let him know that my son was born. But like he couldn't even fucking understand me, dude. I was like bawling my eyes out and shit. You
Oh
know.
yeah, man.
But man, just seeing him with all that shit in him.
Yeah, I know that probably was like a. Well, how did you feel? Like I mean, you just said, but even though like at that moment, did you know he was healthy, or did you guys still have loops to jump through?
So we still had loops to jump through. So before he was actually delivered and born, there was a possibility that after surgery, if shit went wrong, that he might have been in an iron lung.
Oh fuck.
And in that, he said in that instance that it'd be up to us whether or not we just pull the plug. Because who the fuck wants to see the kid in a in a machine?
Yeah.
So, and also there was my girlfriend. She had too much. I don't know what they call that, like liquid in her belly when in the actual placenta and everything, or in the actual womb.
Oh wow, I
And
never heard of
they
that.
and they when they said that when somebody has a CPAM, which my son had, and there's too much liquid in the womb, sometimes when they see those two things together, there's a most of the time there's a genetic defect that happens to where the even if the surgery went well and everything else, and if he had that genetic defect, that if like the cells were too high or some shit like that, that possibly he wouldn't even live to be 3 years old or some shit like that. He told me.
Oh my god, man.
So now, not only do I have to decide whether or not I
Like
want to continue this pregnancy because he might have this. If I do, then he might be in a fucking iron lung for the rest of his life, or
or he might not make it past the age of 3.
And that was hard as fuck. But we're like, what can you do? We're fucking 30-some weeks in. We're like 2 weeks away from fucking delivering or something. What can you do?
Just have to, I guess, be honest with you, man. Like me being the softy I am, I don't know what, but sounds like you handled it the best you could have at the time. And I don't know. All I gotta say is, hearing all this and knowing all this now, seeing your son healthy, like I seen him a couple months ago at the our friend's party we were at, and seeing your son as a healthy young boy just running around having a good ass time, is great. Now, like that even puts more perspective to me, seeing him like that, knowing all this shit that you guys went through.
So after all that, after deciding whether or not we want to continue the pregnancy, which obviously we did, after he was born, he was in there. The thing that surprised me the most, so his name is Avi, AVI. The reason why, so I'm not really religious at all, but Avi in Hebrew means God's child. So I just thought it was like perfect, for the time they were in and everything else. So after that, so now we had another battle ahead of us, which was how long is it gonna take him to recover from this?
Yeah,
because now that he's born, now that this is out of him, it could be a couple weeks, a couple months, a year. So that means more time, more money spent in some place that we're not familiar with.
Yeah.
So by the miracle, bro, the grace of somebody or something, whatever deity you want to believe in, whatever God you want to believe in, this little boy fucking made it out of the NICU in like a month.
Wow, that's a major.
He was born December 11th. We left that fucking hospital like fucking January 3rd.
That's fucking awesome, bro. It's a tough little guy you got there. That's for fucking sure.
He's a fucking cocksucker is what he is.
Hey, man.
I think the hardest part...
I don't know how, like, I hear you get mad at him now. I don't know how the fuck you get mad at him after hearing all this shit. But you know what? Throw your shit out the window. It's cool with me, man.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like, it's not even so much for what he's been through and everything else. It's just that when you have a kid, bro, and they do some, something that pisses you off, and you might, yell at him or scold him for that 1 minute, and then, like, I feel like shit afterward. I was like, why the fuck did I yell at him, dude? Like, he's, just imagine when you were that age and your parents would be like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Well, just the other day you were talking about, like, man, my son's spoiled. We brought him all these toys and stuff.
Oh, fuck.
Like, now I know why.
Jesus. It's not even his fucking birthday yet. He already got, like, 10 gifts.
He said every time he goes to the store, right, you walk out with something.
Oh, yeah. He, like, wants this, wants that. And, but so after that, he progressed so much, at the same time, obviously I was happy because that's my son, but it felt so bad to see all the little babies there, dude, that, like, there was one across from us who I think the nurse had told us that he was there for, like, almost a year.
Wow.
Just imagine like an 8-month-old baby, and you got like the heart monitor things on you, and
still not knowing.
Yeah,
Still not knowing if he's gonna make it through this part of his life.
So we ended up staying in the Ronald McDonald's house. What's crazy is that every time we go to McDonald's, they would always have that little case thing there to donate for the Ronald McDonald's house.
So that's what that's for. That's for that.
Yeah. So I never knew, because I'd never been in one. I never had to be in a Ronald McDonald's house before. But dude, that place is amazing. Like if you ever go to, I don't even know. I think they still got them. But even if you ever go to McDonald's, just donate a couple cents.
You hear it here, man. Do it. I'm gonna do it from now on.
I've been doing it since
ever since all that, right?
Yeah, because they showed they don't expect anything from you. They feed you, they give you all the necessities that you need, and they even raffled like tickets to like I've been to the Cincinnati Bengals game 3 times from like tickets I won from.
Oh wow.
The round. They raffle all kind of stuff there. So cheap. They make it easy for the families that are going through the shit. That.
Yeah, so that's dope that they not that they just do what they need to do for the kids.
Yeah.
Stuff, but they also make sure that you guys are comfortable and like the parents are comfortable and in a good spot.
They have so many like activities. Like for Christmas, dude. Like my son he was a month old. Not even. He was a fucking couple weeks old, and he got like garbage bags full of fucking brand new toys, dude. Wow. Like we had to give those toys away, like to other kids that were living there because we couldn't carry those damn toys when we came back, But yeah, dude, that Ronald McDonald's house probably, and I would say saved my kid's life because the doctor's dead, but without them, I don't know what the fuck we would have done.
Yeah. So going back like to what you were saying, when you had to make that decision where you were gonna go, you're not saying I'm sure that Texas hospital would have been just as great, but it sounds like you got a great, like you ended up picking a great spot to go to.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the doctor was great, the nurses were there, everybody, you had a good support system with them, and of course your family. But
yeah,
so that's awesome to hear, man. And like I said, it's also awesome to see your son healthy as he is now.
Yeah. So I'm glad we chose that spot, and we still have to go out there until he's 3. So basically, we have one more doctor's visit. Once a year we have to go back to Cincinnati, and they do X-rays and everything else. But
so what's their feedback usually? Do they usually tell you that he's doing really good and stuff?
Yeah, like every time we go, the surgeon who I mentioned earlier, he every time he sees my son, he's just like he can't believe it. He's like, there's no way this is your son. Like this is crazy. Like he's so big. He, they said that he's the how do you put this? That he's one of the kids they've never seen that before. Somebody go through that, a kid go through that,
and come out the way he did.
It came out the way he did, but in the amount of time that he did. Like there's no way that he shouldn't have spent only, 3-4 weeks in the NICU, and not even that because he only spent like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks in the NICU, and then he got moved to like the less, not intensive care unit.
Hey man, it's one strong ass kid. Cause you and your girl must have like some really strong genes. You know what I mean? Like you must bring that. I don't even know how to say it, but like a strong system. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what it is, dude. I don't.
Or like you said, whoever like you said, I'm not the biggest religious person, but somebody was looking over something. I don't know if it was like a past relative or what, but that's awesome, bro.
Man, like we fucking said, first episode, we might laugh, we might cry.
Oh yeah, we're here for the light stuff, the heavy stuff, whatever we bring to the table, man.
What's funny was the first thing. Well, the first thing when my girl came back from out of surgery, and then anesthesia wore off. The first thing she asked was like, obviously how is he, how's he look, and everything else. And then she was like, "Did you cry?" And I was like, "What? That's what you're asking right now? If I fucking cried?" Even to this day, she hates that she missed out on me fucking crying. Like that's so.
You must
corny.
not show it much, and then.
Well, I don't, dude. Like I have, like I said, I have a stepdaughter. She's 11, so she's getting in those fucking years where everything's her way, and she thinks she's an adult, And I just try to show her. I talk a lot of shit to her, but we talk shit to each other.
Okay.
We have that type of.
It's like a playful banter.
Yeah, and I just wanna. There's nothing wrong with crying at all, as a man or whatever. But I just, I don't like to show them that. I just try to give them like a hard exterior of myself, but knowing that when I have to show them that soft side, I do.
Yeah, you know. But for the most part, you need to be, at least that's how we're brought up, to be the anchor.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's pretty much, I guess, not my whole story, but
that's a good,
just kind of, I just wanted to, bring that up because, like I said, his birthday is coming up, and every time around
Would
this,
you say the 11th, right?
Yeah, the 11th. So every time around this this time, I just get like emotional, I guess, and happy, just ecstatic that he fucking made it out of this thing.
Yeah, man. So you guys got something big planned for him this year? Or it being COVID, I know it'd be hard, but still.
Not too big. Just we're gonna get him a dinosaur cake because he like loves dinosaurs right now.
Of course, dinosaurs are fucking awesome, bro.
Dude, they are. We'll give him a dinosaur cake and fucking, I don't know, let him do what the fuck he wants to do with the cake or whatever. That's about it. Just like I said, COVID and shit, so we can't really have that many people around. But
hey, well,
And so one other thing too, though. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, it's all good.
So, how we're talking, how like he'd been through this and everything else, and has like this gnarly scar in his fucking chest and everything else. This motherfucker, I was so worried with this whole COVID thing. I was so worried, bro, about getting COVID, not for myself, but for him, because he has,
complications.
Yeah, with his lung, because he gets gassed out easily when he runs and jumps. He starts coughing in like a fucking storm, and
that's the main thing that the COVID attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, So this little motherfucker got COVID, bro, and was running around like he never had COVID.
I remember we were playing the game once, and you were like he was screaming in the background or something. You're like, he's mad because I won't take him to the park.
I think I got more sick than him, because I also had COVID a couple weeks ago, and but my symptoms weren't bad. I maybe like a slight cough, if that.
You get gassed up a little bit. You said like going up the stairs and shit.
Yeah, like going up the stairs. Obviously, I'm fucking fat as shit. But
yeah, but you know the difference.
yeah, like I was like my chest was like burning and shit for like a couple days. Like when you breathe in like super cold air, like when you're outside, that's how it felt, But this little motherfucker, he was jumping around the couches and being his normal fucking self with fucking COVID, dude.
Strong dude, like I said, man.
I don't know, bro. I might have to put him in boxing or something. Some shit.
You could have been in some kind of sport growing up. Something that you know that he can handle. But it's just like he can handle anything really right now.
Shit. But I mean, yeah, dude, that's like that's kind of what I wanted to tell you and shit. Well, I mean, obviously you heard it, but kind of just wanted.
Yeah, I knew I knew you guys went to Cincinnati and knew you were at the Ronald McDonald House, but I didn't know exactly what Avi had. But now I know the whole situation, which, like I said, that's an amazing story to hear. And then to know, like, my biggest thing was like what went through your head because, just knowing what you had to do and be there for your family.
Yep. As a father, that's like one of the hardest things. If you hearing it from me, we're friends. You're like, you feel bad. You're like, damn, but you never really know.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know.
Until like you're in that situation,
and
you're the parent, and basically, his or her life could be in your hands, whether or not you want to terminate the pregnancy or, if something happens, you have to pull the plug. That's got to be like the hardest fucking thing in the world to do.
I can only, as I said, I kept saying that. I know I repeated myself a lot, but I can only fucking imagine. Bro.
Yeah, dude, that's just
probably can't even imagine. Yeah,
but yeah, so I mean that's kind of our little bit of background, and I mean I don't know if you have anything else.
No, like I told everybody, I'm kind of a basic bitch. I moved around a lot, but one thing I didn't touch on earlier, I'm just like a quick little thing. How we were talking about we moved around a lot, and you said you moved around, and then at one point you were afraid to make friends because you were gonna feel like you were gonna move again. Well, I guess as I said earlier, I was the youngest one in my family. I have an older brother, he moved around a lot too. So what happened is, I think I was like maybe a freshman, maybe a sophomore in high school. Probably a freshman in high school. And my parents had the opportunity to get a house in Crown Point. And at first I was really like upset about it because I had a lot of friends here. But my dad kind of like bribed me. He was like, we get you out there. As soon as you're able to drive, we'll get you a car. I'm like, okay, I'm in for it. But I was still kind of upset a little bit. Like, I think I vented to my brother. And my brother talked to my dad and told him, like, hey, man, I'm just letting you know now. I still regret when I was in high school and we had to move from East Chicago to Hammond. And I lost all my friends. I had to make all new friends again in high school. Don't do that to Chris. I know he seems to be okay with it, but I don't want you to do that to my brother. And we ended up staying here. I think about that a lot because, sometimes I feel bad because I feel like, damn, my parents could have had that nice house out there. My brother, I didn't even know my brother did it till like later in life. But also, I think like, wow, how different would my life have been?
Right.
This would have never happened because that's before I was friends with Alex, and like I said, Alex is what me meeting Alex Court this is the way everything spread out how we ended up meeting. But so like I think about that time, it's like, wow, how any little thing could change life.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, my life's pretty basic, and I don't have nothing crazy to talk about. But yeah, man, life. That's all. Life is life.
Life is fucking life, man, dude. Fuck on that note, I think it's
This has been the smoker section. Go ahead and hit him with it, Freddy.
Life is fucking life. Peace, love, and positivity. Cry, laugh. Fucking get mad, whatever. Smoker Section Podcast. Freddy and Chris. Smoke a fucking stogie.
Bitch.